right. Hello, everybody. We're going to get started. Still working on this guy. Today, I will be working on the shield here. And this will be like a non-matte steel. You can see from after last stream, I just kind of continue doing like the gold, putting onto these little spiky things only on this view. Like I didn't do this, but I did do the back here. Not a lot of highlights or anything, and I was mostly just using the same. I mean, I was using all the same mixes. Like I was using the same paper on my palette, same paints and everything. And I went more with the green tones in the back here, just a little more desaturated because it's not getting that bright direct light. So it's similar to what I did down here, just putting it all back here with a few extra highlights like up there where the light might be kind of hitting like that. So I got the shield to do today, and based on our light source, he's kind of standing like that in the light. What we're gonna do is this top bit here is gonna be kind of dark. Obviously, this just like from the painting light here, you can see how bright how the light is catching it. Our kind of highlights will be down here. These little handles, I guess, will be highlighted. This little inside probably. And then back here is mostly just going to be straight mid-tone, basic mid-tone with edge highlights. That's basically what you do with the shadow metal back there. Maybe work in a little bit of like skin reflection right there, but not a lot, because it's kind of just like the bounce light hitting the back and then hitting there. I don't know if I'll work on this side today, but we'll see, maybe. But a little brighter or higher value than most of this, just because, again, like that bounce light. But also, I don't know, different spots. Because the main light's coming here, so you got to think like it'd be hitting the ground and kind of coming back up. But I might just work on the back all like as one separate entity, really. And then we'll see what happens from there. Still got the wood here. Oh yeah, I also base coated the little hand grip, and that's it. More black cloth. Still got to do the blindfold. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so for the metal, we're gonna get some turquoise deep. Just a little bit. Some silver gray from Chimera. It's the Nilo Cartacci set. A little more. We don't want a lot of blue in here. I'm thinking about it. I might actually go green instead. It's fine. We'll get there. We'll get those warm highlights in there. We're not really reflecting like a blue sky or anything. That's fine. Like I said, we'll get there. We'll figure it out. It's black. And some ivory. I'm not. Oh, I also put bright pale yellow on there. Sorry. No real pure white right now. I don't think I want any of this stuff to be pure white. Maybe in the edge highlights when we come back, you know, like those little glints here and there. Okay. A little bit darker. We'll start by mixing up mostly the silver gray, a little bit of turquoise deep, and some black to kind of darken this as our base coat. As I'm putting this on, I'm seeing that there's like sculpted in nicks and scratches. So some of those can get like the pure white glints on it. I hit this edge without hitting the cloth behind it. Like I said, one of the problems with 3D prints is that most of the time they're one solid piece. If the shield were separated, it would be a lot easier to paint. So I think we're in the 30s now in terms of how many days are left till Adepticon. So hopefully most of you are well into your competition pieces. It's those of you that are going and entering something. Now, there's a lot of nice teasers on Instagram from people. It's that time of year you got to start to see like a foot or a hand. I'm just trying to tease what their entry is. Why are you beating up right here? I don't like that. I don't know why it's doing that, but hey, at least it's only on the back. The back is not too important right now. Alright, so my goal for the next few weeks is finishing off this guy. Should be finished with him by the end of next week. Yeah, I'm just gonna base this whole thing. I wanted these like runes in here to be gold. I can just come back and rebase coat those when it's time. Anyway, finish off this guy by the end of next week, and then start working on Angel from Marvel Crisis Protocol for the Worthy. Should give me, you know, basically a month to finish him for the Worthy. I don't think it will take that long. In the last few streams for Adepticon, there's one other potential Resin Beast entry. Like a 32 mil creature caster guy, just like a regular human with a shield and a sword. Possibly that, or I can just continue working on Golden Demon entry, show it on stream. But that is mostly like just refining stuff. I mean, there are a few parts that I'm going to completely repaint, so maybe I can do that on stream, but most of that work is just little bits of like blending and glazing and fixing little problem areas. Okay, there we go. Got that all base coated now. Adding some bright pale yellow. We're going to kind of sketch on where the highlights are going to go. Get that little spike, but I think for the most part you don't notice it. Oh, you turn into a double. Oh, that's so annoying. This little round bit turns it into a double edge right there. It's like that. Okay. Actually, get a little more kind of like right here. And so this area here is going to be our highest value, our brightest highlight there. Same like here. But when we do these, you know, we want these other reflections in there, but they're not going to be as bright and high value as this area here. So these will probably stay about where they are. We're just going to kind of blend them back in. Because we don't want it to look like there's 3 separate light sources getting all of these spots, hitting them all equally. You always want to make sure you have one spot that's your absolute brightest where the light is hitting directly. And the rest are still higher value than your dark reflections and midtones, but not as high value as the brightest highlight. Adding little bits of bright pale yellow and ivory. All right, so we start blending in. Of course, with steel, you know, you're just kind of doing various shades of gray. Of course, those edge highlights matter. when it comes to metal, definitely want extreme contrasts. So your darkest shadow should be almost pure black, and your brightest highlight should almost be pure white. Again, maybe even a few little dots here and there of actual pure white. I'm also going to get a little bit of transparent yellow. We can kind of glaze on a little bit of that warmth. That's fully dry. Start blending it back in a little bit. Start with these shadow areas first, though. this little crescent in here. So this bit is getting more light, but also you're getting a little bit of a cast shadow from the top bit. Of course, this is going to be extremely dark right here. This should be silver or steel. The gold coming out of it. Okay. Or maybe I can just... it's hard to tell. It's sculpted a little bit wonky. I'm trying to get this little bit right here. You probably can't see this. I'm sorry. All right, there was just a package delivered, and all the dogs are barking. Hopefully that's looking a little better. We'll get a little pure white on the palette so you can see what it's like with those final highlights. And if we have to adjust anything, yeah, may not be the best brush, but we'll see. All right, start working on this more mid-tone slash shadow section. That's actually a little higher value than it's going to end up. So we're going to come back and put in other lines here. Actually, what I should do first is kind of darken those shadows. All right, I just realized there's going to be a red cloth right here. So I'm going to come back in a little bit and put some red reflection in some of these spots here. Not right now, though. We'll continue working on what we have here. I just completely forgot that there's red right next to steel. I'm going to make this side cooler, so I'm glazing on that turquoise deep. While this side got that warm, transparent yellow. So we get a much cooler turquoise look. So there are some scratches in here. We're not going to use the pure white. We're going to use the ivory to kind of give those a little bit of highlight. Some of the light's going to glint off of those, even though we're kind of turned away a little bit. And then we come back with a little higher value than the mid-tone down here. And that will be the edge highlight. That doesn't really work. For these sections here. this a little bit. Using mostly the bright pale yellow to up the value in these sections up here because it's getting hit directly by that warm light. Hey, TG. Welcome back. Thank you for the 13 months. Got yourself a red knob starfish. There is your receipt. Hope you're doing well. Hope the baby's doing well. Yeah, I had a lot of life stuff come at me really hard all at once. So I was unable to stream for a while. Hopefully everything's, should be back to normal now. Get back to a consistent stream schedule. To apologize to people like you and Chromium who kind of paid for subs in advance. And then I wasn't streaming for that, but I appreciate the continued support. We're a bit sick, but everyone's getting better. Next month, the baby will be a year old. All right, why is that doubling? Thank you for the hydrate. I don't know why the audio doubled. Just tell me if that doubled on your end, because it definitely did on mine. That is a Twitch alert, one of their alerts. It did. Why did that double? Still getting used to Twitch's new alert system. I don't know why it's doing that. We'll figure that out. Yeah, a year old. That's pretty exciting. Have you been able to get painting in at all? So now I'm coming back with that warm yellow up top here, because this is being hit by that direct light. I think this is like a little bit of pitting from the 3D printer. Sometimes that happens with prints. But because this shield is so like dinged up, I'm just gonna treat it as a normal ding. So I'll come back and highlight that bottom edge of that little hole there. There we go. Just get a little highlight there on the bottom. Actually, this is too thick, so it's kind of brighten this highlight up, but then I'll come back and thin that highlight down a little. A nice crisper edge. I've ruined you. I've gotten the CYMK palette from Golden and soon getting bigger bottles. So this guy that does awesome Magic the Gathering cards appearing only as use a CYMK color palette as well. Well, sounds fun. I don't see anything wrong with that. I do really like golden paints. They're very nice. And now I just went a little too much trying to cover that highlight. highlight these little sections here. These are little dings and chips as well. I'll also come back and put like little scratches and stuff in here, but probably not a whole lot of scratches on this view, just because, you know, if it's actually a shield, no one's really hitting this, because obviously you're gonna pop that out and block things that way. So this came off the tape. There we go. There we go. So Zaba Art released a new turtle today, and I definitely need to get it. It's actually like a big turtle with a cannon and like a mini turtle riding him. And it looks absolutely incredible. Definitely need to pick that up. All right. Now we got to work on the little armbands, whatever. Based on the direction of the light. Mostly overhead, but slightly in front. You know, we'll hit these flat panels, and you'll get the kind of dark going into light. So brightest spots will be over there. We'll also get a strong edge highlight up top here. So I put a little bit of darker red on the palette. Get a little thin. Just gonna try and glaze some reflection into here. Some of it. I mean, let's get a little more. Actually darken it up with a little bit of black. So we don't want the red down here to be too vibrant. I'm going to put it in this like handle here because it's also kind of right on top of that red. Not this one up here. It's too far away. All right. Can you please stop popping off? There we go. All right, I was trying to thin down this line here, edge highlight. Because again, this edge here kind of comes in, going down there, then get another edge that goes right up the center. It's kind of odd in its shape. We're going with more of that darker red right here. I'll take the red off of this edge highlight though. It's looking a little pink. That's not what we want. Already went a little too far. Which is fine. We'll just thin it back down with that same dark red. I just want to make sure that this edge highlight doesn't have red in it. All right, and we'll come back with a little more red, less black. We got that edge highlight on the bottom here. Again, just trying to cover up that red in the edge. All right, now we'll take some of this light gray, thin it down. Let's try to glaze it over this red. So it looks a little bit more like red reflecting off of a gray steel, not just like red painted on the shield. And I actually want to tone down this edge highlight a little. There we go. Maybe these edge highlights here as well. A little too white. Hey Jet, how's it going? All right, so this is gonna need an edge highlight. Same on the bottom. Good, just booked some holidays and the honeymoon. Nice. Going anywhere good? Oh. Thank you for the hydrate, TG. I don't know if I can fix that double audio right now. I'll have to do that after stream. See what the issue is. It's got to be on Twitch's end because, you know, it's their alerts. Stream Elements alerts didn't really double. Okay. I feel like this will be easier just to kind of paint this whole thing right here, and then we'll come back with that color and it'll be an edge highlight in the end. Yeah, that'll get a little more light than that. Staycation to the Highlands in March, Portugal in April, and Puerto Vallarta, Canary Islands in September for the honeymoon. Nice. Sounds pretty good. Notice none of those trips are coinciding with a miniature show. What's up with that? Yep, made sure of that. I mean, you don't want to go to like SMC or Contrast or something. All right, just trying to put a little bit of a gold reflection in here. Mixed up a quick kind of goldish color. Transparent yellow and black to make a kind of desaturated green. Mixed with some bright pale yellow. Oh, now you got a little bit of a gold reflection in the steel there. Hope you guys have a lot of fun. The staycation and the holidays and the honeymoon. Maybe you can catch some better fish in Portugal and the Canary Islands. All right, so this bit down here will get a little bit of light. for the most part, like I said, this will kind of be mid-tone, so it's a little bit darker because it's just blocked by all the light. So I don't have to worry too much about that. Let's try to get this little tip down here, and then I don't know. I'll probably move on to continue doing the black cloth. I gotta stop using this brush. Need a bigger brush to cover more area. Start by making that whole edge dark, but then we'll come back with a brown in there. Brownish gray, just kind of get a little bit of reflection from the ground. Maybe a little bit from this wood here. Have you printed anything good recently, Jet? I've noticed a bunch of people have started getting into sculpting their own stuff. They're starting to learn sculpting, and it's something I've definitely wanted to do for quite a while, but haven't had the time yet. So it's a ways away, but I'm hoping to start doing my own or learning how to sculpt stuff. After November. Once Monty's done, my big project should be out of the way. Sir, Yoromir for Middle Earth. Hard to have hobby time with a child. Yeah, that's understandable. Also, the Middle Earth stuff's pretty small, isn't it? It's even smaller than like normal Warhammer scale. Got to go a little slower with that, a little more tight details. This thing keeps catching on my glove. Right, we don't want this to be this dark. We'll kind of lighten it up down here. Get a little brighter at this tip. Uh, 28 millimeter true scale with giant hands and weapon set. Yeah, that's what Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff is. This is the angel that I'll be working on. And I do have a Space Marine here. Let's grab the whole thing. So I'm reworking this duel here for Golden Demon, but you can see just by looking at like their heads and their arms, that 28 mil true scale, oof, that is some small stuff. So I'll be working on this guy hopefully after next week, like I said earlier in stream. Hopefully finish this guy off completely by the end of next week. And then we can start working on him. .28 mil true is no joke. I know the Infinity models are 28 true, and those things are really tiny. I don't know if they still are, but War Machine, back when I played in the Mark II and days, was still 28 millimeter true, and some of those Signar like basic humans troops were, oh geez, 28 millimeter true metal. Gluing the arms on those things was insane. I know Infinity, I don't know if Infinity still is, but they're also 28 mil true metal. It's the smaller guys. The big like tags and things might be resin or plastic now. Been a lot of scooters in this pond in the last few streams, huh? Thanks for cleaning it out. Definitely needed it. Get rid of all the junk so the fish can thrive. We got, where's ground brown? There it is. Ground brown from the Pizarski Chimera set. Just gonna get a little bit of like a ground reflection in this little thing here. There we go. So I haven't primed it yet. I should really get on that. But like I said, the base here, like this is going to be kind of a brownish gray cobblestone. It's going to be kind of dark. Like, you know, the big focus is going to be that light. So you can kind of see how he's going to be like standing on this base here. I think like try to get the right angle. It's like that. Maybe a little bit over. We'll just say there. So this little bit here will be reflecting just a little bit of that cobblestone back up, but you know, doesn't need a lot. Okay. Let's do dark orange brown. Oops. Mix it with that red and black mixture we had earlier. We will base the shaft of this scepter. Oh, that's a red ribbon that I completely missed. Okay. Thank you for the hydrate, TG. Do it in just a second. It has been extremely dry over here. Temps in the negatives of negative Fahrenheits, by the way. So deep negatives in Celsius, which means the furnace is almost always on. So drying everything out. Wet pallets, excuse me, wet pallets and humans alike, you know. So I definitely need to be drinking a lot more water than normal. I feel like I already drink a fair amount of water. All right, we're going to try and get a little bit of wood grain on this. I don't know why it started that mixture in the base coat. So I'm mixing the dark orange brown with the bright pale yellow. I missed it. You got a watch? Hopefully it still tells time. Let's try to get so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Just kind of going thin lines, and I will be glazing over this so these lines won't be this high value in the end. We're going to tint them down. A lot of little notches in this wood shaft as well, but just to highlight those. The bottom. So when I glaze, a lot of this will just kind of get blended back in. And you'll get like faint hints of this wood grain. For most of this model, that's good enough because a lot of this will be covered by the shield or the backdrop or whatever. This part right here, you can't even see me doing anything because it's blocked by this. You gotta stop popping off. Okay. What color do you make? Let's try a different approach here. Let's see. Some of this. Some of this. There we go. A little more red to that. So we kind of made our own brown by mixing the red, turquoise, and the yellow. Basically make a red and green, which of course when mixed up will make a brown. Add a little more red and yellow to make it a more orangey brown. We're going a little heavy with this glaze slash filter, whatever you want to call it. Kind of really blend that first, excuse me, wood grain sketching in. Allow that to dry. While doing that, let's see, this will come out. Add a little more red and yellow to that. More of this. And look at that. Now we got a skin tone. While waiting for that to dry, we'll just start refining the skin a little. Just use some little stippling here to kind of blend this highlight out. What I'm doing with this is kind of very thin down dots. And the exposure on the camera is just a little overexposed, but kind of helping to blend that skin in. Lays it back down just a little bit, a little filter. All right, so I mixed it's kind of fine the little highlight we had over here, a little more ivory and a little more dark orange brown to tint it a bit, and then we'll get drawing some more lines here to kind of reinforce the highlight and get some more wood grain look. And I'll glaze this again, or filter, whatever you want to call it. Let's maybe get that on camera. This area right here is really the only place that the light source is really hitting. We'll get this deep scratch right here highlighted. So that's the area we want to focus on. I'm going to add some more white to this, get it pretty high value, because again, I'm going to glaze it back. Just accentuate the fact that this is where our highlight is. That made up brown that we did and add some of that dark orange brown to it. Make sure we're all dry so we're not just spreading the lighter paint around. Putting that filter on. Add a little bit more black to that darker part of that mix. We'll get our shadows. Try a little bit of black lining around the gold connection to the wood. Try to do a thicker black line here to be a shadow, like a, oh god, I can't remember what it's called. Occlusion shadow? That was too much. There's too much black right there. You know, because the light's coming here, it's going to cast a little more shadow right there. So, right, give me this. Try to fix this spot that I just messed up. That black line was too thick. There we go. Accentuate that deep scratch right there in the wood. There are some others. We'll focus on that later when we do the backside. Remember to base coat this red. Now that I see it. much more is visible? A little on this side. Let's fix this. It's the same red. There we go. All right. Thank you, TG. All right, we got about half an hour left. Yeah, so instead of coming back down to the robes here, I'll still work on black cloth, but we can finally do this blindfold. We'll take some of this black. Make a gray with the bright pale yellow. Just want to quickly kind of blend this a little better. That made up skin tone we got on the back here. There we go. A little better. All right, so we have kind of a big fold here, here. Remember, we keep everything in line with the highlights, so the main highlights are in this section, so a lot of light this way and then tapering off. It's not going to look like I'm doing anything for a little bit. Because I am just kind of stippling on a dark gray. That will get progressively lighter. Let's see if you can see it better. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, that was the wrong way. Too much? There we go. One of the things I found with my camera is every time I touch it, it would lose signal. I figured out that just kind of halfway pulling the cable out fixed that issue. Because that somehow that makes sense. Pulling the cable out gives it a better signal. Yeah. So now you can see how this still isn't fully refined yet. We'll come back in later and fix all that. The skin still isn't fully refined. You get everything to about 80-90% done, and then the final stages is just refining everything. Well, not everything needs like perfectly smooth blends and all that, but maybe this is a little too zoomed in because I need to pick the model up closer to my face. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully I don't bounce around too much. I'm gonna try and stabilize my arms so you don't get motion sickness. Try and edge highlight the top of this blindfold right there. But let me know if this is going out of focus as I move it closer to the camera, because if that was too much. That's fine, I'll come back. Because I need to, bring it a little closer to my face to see it properly. This is a very small section. We'll get a little bit of gray over here, but this is mostly shadow, so and I'm using this bright pale yellow to kind of get that warm color into the black. So we're gonna come with the brightest highlight now. Where the head is where you want all the focus to go whenever you paint something, usually. So it's gonna have the brightest highlight. So we want the black cloth here to be a little higher value than down here. Let's get this a better point. Again, we're gonna try and edge the top of this. Yeah, I was looking not so zoomed in. Wrong way. Okay. All right, so maybe tone that down just a little bit and zoom back in for that. There we go. Black blindfold. I'm going to zoom back in. We can try to refine some of this steel right now. It's more of that pure white. So when you keep layering that pure white on top of each other, it looks a little bit brighter each time. Now it goes black. And we'll figure that out. There it goes. Zoom out. Too far. There we go. Let's kind of work on this hand grip a little bit. When that's dry, we'll come back with the red and just glaze over the top a little. So it's a little bit more red and a little less pink. Like some of that turquoise in there to get some shadow color on the bottom here. Use those flesh tones that we mixed up to take any of that red off of the fingers. All right. Just notice this spot here. Basically be almost pure black. Oh, that notch is supposed to be in there. Okay. Try to edge highlight this just a little bit. didn't do any of that yet, but that's fine. All right, I think that's where I'll stop for today. Next stream, we'll probably continue working on the black cloth, these red ribbons, two little leather hip guard things.